Let's get behind the corporate media reporting that the transition memos have been signed between the incoming Trump administration and the outgoing Biden administration. Hooray! We're all safe and secure. And then when you get behind the headline, it's all untrue. I'm Michael Popak. I'm on Legal AF and the Midas Touch Network. Let's talk about what really happened and how it should have been reported, as we don't blow smoke or sunshine on the Midas Touch Network. Let's talk about what was required under the Presidential Transition Act of 1963. Yes, boys and girls and others, gather round. We're going to be talking about the Presidential Transition Act of 1963. If you haven't had a good night's sleep, I'm going to try to keep you awake on these particular issues. It requires the incoming presidency and administration to work collaboratively with the outgoing to make sure there's no seam in the process, to make sure there's no ball that's dropped in the outfield between two outfielders, to make sure that we're safe and secure in case on day one or hour before day one of the new administration, a pandemic hits, an economic crisis, some sort of cyber attack, some sort of a real attack, nuclear attack, whatever it could be. It's been amended a number of times, that Presidential Transition Act, since 1963, to account for problems that happened, for instance, on 9/11, which I'm not saying that the transition or the late putting George Bush into his chair late, his seat late, because of the vote counting problems and the Supreme Court decision and the delay in the presidency created the atmosphere for 9/11, but it certainly invited it. And there was a lot of backbiting and finger pointing about the lack of preparedness for the Bush administration because they were scrambling after the United States Supreme Court gave them the presidency. Never wanted that to happen again. It's ironic that some of the people that are involved in the presidential transition for Donald Trump actually have long-standing 9/11 experience and should know better. But they've decided that Donald Trump wants to do things his way. National security and the safety of American people be damned. So he had to file an ethics report by October. He failed to do that because he doesn't want any of his people to comply with ethics requirements. They're all tangled up in ethical conflicts. They all have business concerns that have business before the government in cabinet positions and in departments and other agencies that they're going to be responsible for running. And they're not going to be required for Donald Trump to divest themselves of any of these conflicts. Neither is Donald Trump. There's not going to be a blind trust of any type. So he's like, we don't need the ethics code. Let's get rid of that. There's two other agreements he had to sign. He's had to sign an agreement with the Department of Justice and the FBI to allow for FBI background checks and, more importantly, to allow for top secret information to be given to people who don't have security clearance or give them fast track security clearance. Well, Donald Trump doesn't want that either. So we don't have the FBI background check agreement. We don't have the top secret security clearance agreement. And we don't have the agreement with the General Services Administration signed, the GSA, which would allow public funds to be used for the transition. They don't want public funds on the Trump side. They want an unlimited well of secret donations. And they don't want the office space that's required. And they also don't want the secure infrastructure that comes with getting inside the tent of the government. They don't want the secure IT infrastructure, information technology. They don't want the safeguarding. They don't want the spam filters and the Pentagon level protection for their communications. This despite the fact that the Iranians routinely tried to hack and have hacked the Trump campaign. Russia too. China also. No. Susie Wiles, the incoming chief of staff, says, we got this. We've got, bank level, IT infrastructure. Do you? Why? Because Elon Musk is there, because Howard Lutnick is there from Cantor Fitzgerald. This is the reason you think you're protected. These companies have never been hit with a cyber attack. Come on. I think you should take advantage of the fact that in order to become a part of this government, you need to have the level of protection that only a government can provide. And stop jerking around. So why was the headline in all of these news media? Oh, Trump finally gets around to signing agreements. He didn't. He signed one agreement. He's already uploaded it. Yes, we'll abide by the ethics. Yes. We hear you. Okay, fine. And we'll sit down and have meetings with everybody. Well, the meetings are going to be pretty sterile because until they get into office and get their top secret security clearance, these people on the outside in the transition period are not going to be given top secret classified information by their counterparts. They're just not. Susie Wallace is like, don't worry, rapid response teams for each department and agency are well on their way to, I'm picturing like this movie, everything's like theatric and cinematic, they're parachuting in like Mission Impossible to go meet with their counterparts. Okay. And the counterparts are going to be like, well, here's a book for you. And there's lots of black pages and black lines because you don't have the top secret clearance that you need because you didn't sign the agreement. How does this make America safe on day one? On moment one, at 12:01 on the 20th of January, after he gets sworn in and all the pomp and circumstance and whatever's going to happen on Jan 20 happens, how are we more safe? While they're scrambling to go, that was what was going to happen overseas? Oh, no, that was a domestic terrorism problem. They're going to learn that on the fly, day of. Great. Fall needs its own wardrobe full of comfortable and coordinating pieces for a layered look with perspective. You need warmth that's still extra breathable. Starchy, stiff workwear is not optimal when you need to endure your busiest, most important days. With Rhone's commuter collection, your clothing looks professional, performs like activewear, and feels like total comfort. Seasons change. We change. It's time men's closets change, too. Rhone's commuter collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and truly versatile set of products known to man. Rhone has premium pieces to elevate every occasion. We're talking about the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, and blazers, all boosted with functional performance properties. Rhone's signature technical fabrics stretch in every direction, breathe, fight odor and the elements, and effortlessly work everywhere so you can stay calm and collected even when life takes unexpected turns. It's time for unparalleled confidence without all the hassle. Each piece in Rhone's commuter collection is made to coordinate and layer for an instantly elevated look. The collection also features wrinkle release technology and is 100% machine washable. Looking good is that easy. Look, I love the commuter collection, and I use some of those pieces from it almost every day as I dress for the podcast, the videos, or meetings with clients. The fit of the shirts and ease to maintain is unparalleled and makes my getting dressed for success in the morning a no-brainer. Changing seasons is the optimal time for new beginnings. The commuter collection's premium look and adaptable design is the best way to move through the fall. Rhone makes it easy with machine washability and collars that maintain their shape for life. Commuter collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to Rhone.com/legalAF and use promo code legalAF to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/legalAF and use code legalAF. It's time to embody your most confident self. Again, 9/11 and the recipe for that disaster and that national horror was because of the long transition period while we waited to see with the presidency hanging in the balance whether the Supreme Court was going to give it to Al Gore or to George Bush. And people involved now know that. And yet they don't care because they don't want to subject themselves to anything that would make them divest themselves of their entanglements, their ethical conflicts. They all have ethical conflicts. All of them. Musk is in charge of cutting the red tape and government efficiency. He's got $3 billion and 17 contracts alone with the federal government and its military complex. And NASA, which is going to double in size while he is cutting costs. And which it just means, when you hear that, it's just social programs. Let's just call it for what it is. It's the programs that help the voters that voted for Donald Trump. It's the social safety net. It's entitlements. It's all those are the big budget items. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, student loans, healthcare for children, things related to poverty alleviation, Head Start programs, public education funding. That's what goes in Donald Trump's world. And where does it go? It goes to pay for the tax breaks for the oligarchs and the billionaires who bought a presidency in broad daylight. That's what's happening. But it so chaps my backside. It really does. To see national reporting say, agreement's finally signed. We can go, well, great. We can go back to DEFCON 4. It's finally signed. No, it's not signed. It's not good enough. And it doesn't make me sleep better at night knowing that one of the 4 agreements in transition has been signed. Like, we got this. We did this 4 years ago. We know what we're doing. Yeah? Most of the people that are coming back or are coming into government with Donald Trump have never been in government before. Almost all of them. None of them. I mean, some have. Most of them have not. And now we're going to have to watch what happens. So I want to rip the Band-Aid off of this whole BS reporting about we're now safer because he's finally agreed to transition. He hasn't agreed to that. And we'll continue to follow it and call him out on it and the ethical conflicts that everybody in his cabinet is tied up in knots related to. But Donald Trump's going to slip the knot. He's already got a solution for the no FBI background checks. Of course. Who would pass an FBI background check for him? Once you get through the alleged rapists, pedophiles, sex assault victims, conspiracy theorists, Russian assets, all alleged. Once you get past all that, there's very few people left in the cabinet. And then if they do get past all that, then they got financial conflicts. Up to here in cryptocurrency involvement. Let's stop regulating cryptocurrency. Yeah, it's a great idea. Is that because you're invested heavily in cryptocurrency? Trump, Lutnick, Musk, all you guys? Is that what's happening? Let's get rid of oil and gas regulation. Sure, why not? Let's get rid of the environment. Let's get rid of the climate. I don't mean climate control, just the climate. Let's just get rid of it, right? This planet, the United States, would work much better. We make much more dollars if we didn't have climate, weather, water, or air. These people must not have children and grandchildren. They just don't care. It's just how many billions of dollars more do they need in their bank account? How many toys do they have to die with in order to be satisfied? Yay, I'm an ambassador. Yay, I'm a cabinet member. Who cares? Your grandchild just died. Or your great-grandchild, right? That's the legacy you're leaving behind. Well, the Grim Reaper just entered the room. You're on the Midas Touch Network and on Legal AF. We're calling it out without blowing smoke or sunshine. Nobody tells me what to say. And we are pro-democracy. And we are here after the dust cleared on Election Day to get ready for the next battle, which is the midterms, and keeping Donald Trump pinned down and make him as lame duck as possible, as early as possible, in his first 2 years. That's what we got to do. We got to be energized, got to lean forward, not back. We'll help you do it here on the Midas Touch Network and on Legal AF. So until my next contribution on all things Legal AF, I am Michael Popak, and I am reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.